Djinn are described as smokeless fire, think about how long ago the Quran was written. Beings of energy, like angels, for instance, could appear to mortals who are gazing upon them to be fire without smoke, especially when they begin to move and the energy ripples, for lack of a better word. They didn't know how else to describe it at the time, so they went with smokeless fire. I'm not saying angels and Djinn are the same creature, we are not. I was just using them as an example. Angels can assume corporeal form if it is in the Supreme Creator's will for them to do so, but cannot directly touch a mortal skin to skin without themselves becoming tainted and the human being cursed, which means the angel would suffer such an overload from the emotions humans exude like their own body temperature, and the human would be so influenced by the angels transferring universal knowledge into a brain truly not designed to retain it, that they both end up going crazy. The Djinn, on the other hand, do not and cannot have a corporeal form in this dimension as part of our punishment due to our refusal to bow down to individuals who would one day, well, let's just say we saw how humanity would turn in upon itself like the animals they are. No offense. Now, there are creatures who have been called Djinn who are fireless smoke. Those would be dark entities that are more closely related to a fallen angel but still can be considered cousins of a sort to us. The principalities, I believe they're called in Christian culture. They're responsible for the winds of the world and tornadoes. The principalities are a group of elementals that are extremely powerful. They can even give an ancient merit a run for their money. They are neither good nor evil, but they are extremely hostile if summoned. In that way, they're very much like a Djinn can be, especially if you're unlucky enough to summon a shaitan. Luckily, it's extremely rare to pull the principalities down from on high. You would have a lot more storms with the strength of a hurricane or worse, and in odd places, if they were easy to summon, i.e. the fireless smoke, they're invisible to mortal eyes otherwise, and I believe one, if not several, keeps getting called for trouble by a Ouija board. Bad idea. They are even prouder creatures than we are, and aren't as inclined to negotiate the business deals as we are either. Yes, you make a deal with them even when you even accidentally summon them. Their time for your soul, or your life, is the usual expected payment. We're willing to make a deal as long as we get the equivalent of what the original payment or exchange was. Well, the nicer ones are willing to at any rate. The shaitan as they're called by humans will be about as compromising as a cobra is willing to share a mouse, and about as pleasant to talk to. Shaitan is not a type of Djinn either. It is what the Djinn who are against humanity call themselves. More rarely, you'll see columns of smoke, spiritual mist, that just so happen to be your everyday demon being obnoxious if you're in the wrong place at the right time. The black eyes of the possessed individual would be the dead giveaway of the demon truly being one of the fallen ones. By the way, they're projecting an image. When will humans ever get that part of it right? Demons with no corporeal form will make themselves appear as something other than what they are. For instance, they love to make themselves look like the truly pure angel cannot touch any mortal and return to the place from whence they came, so will avoid directly touching a human flesh to flesh. They can touch your clothing though. A demon's goal is to get a body so they can once more feel the sensations they felt while still in their original body. Possessed human beings are very much a reality because of the demon's selfish goals. If one isn't careful or in enough time to help the individual possessed, I'm sorry to say but the person's spirit may be irrecoverable. There is no debate as to where we come from. We know who created us, how we were created, and why, and it certainly wasn't to originally lick mortal boots as Muslims would think. We were first meant to watch over and tend to the garden, which would be the entire planet, which is why you can't truly find a Garden of Eden in any one specific place on Earth. When humans were created, we were meant to help mortals accomplish what they otherwise could not do, and to be guardians or warriors of a sort as well. Forget me going into details about that, by the way. Yes, those of us who aren't determined on destroying humanity by any means possible will serve them still, for a price, as per the law of equivalent exchange. I know I've said that already, but I really cannot stress that enough. There will always be a price, but to be fair, we cannot think like humans can, so we can't truly understand what they mean at the moment they make the wish or whatever unless they tell us word for word. If there is a disaster as a result of the transaction, that's not our fault. That was only part of the truth. What I meant by that was only part of the truth when it came to wishes going awry on their own is that depending on the Djinn, they may or may not bend reality to harm the one wishing for this or that. It also depends on the wish itself, on the intent of the human asking for the wish, and whether or not the human is trying to trap, or has already trapped, the Djinn like they're a sort of pet to be kept on a kennel. For me personally, I do my best to keep out of trouble. I've been forgiven once by the Creator. I may not be so lucky should I fall again. We also get irritated when the deal's reneged upon and the mortal isn't willing to pay at all. Another thing, don't summon us for anything but the most important of things to begin with, like when you're literally fighting for your soul or life and have no other alternative but to use us. I still suggest that you allow yourself to die and let the Supreme Creator handle it. He's good at that sort of thing, and he's not naturally prone to doing anything to make it worse. Better yet, call upon the angels that are truly designed to help humans. I'm one of the very few who are honestly still interested in learning more about this dimension, but won't harm a human if I don't think it's necessary. I find humans very fascinating in their contradictions and uniqueness. Horrific events like possessions and lost children after a botched summoning or second thoughts about payment can be prevented by not bothering to try to seek us or any other creature out actively. If we come to you, keep us at arm's length. On top of my nature of flitting in and out of this dimension to begin with, that is another reason why I don't stay too long around as mortal. I seek knowledge about this side energy frequency than humans' forms do. One major difference, however, would be age, as demons are usually younger due to being the cursed souls of those who originally slept with angels, the Nephilim, and slash or somehow made deals with the fallen and have therefore lost their soul to that side of the fence. The more powerful and otherwise nasty demons would be the fallen whose bodies have either withered away for good, or were destroyed during the flood. Again, they may not all be evil, but it's always best to treat them as they may be a potential threat to you. Then again, I'm talking from the perspective of a protector and a warrior. The Djinn, besides being an older race to begin with, have a whole different place on another plane of existence we've had to call home. The demons share a place with the fallen, as they both rebelled against the Supreme Creator in a way that warrants divine punishment on a different level than us. Again, we have our purpose as creations of our Father of the heavens, but considering there are those of us that hate humans as much as the fallen ones do, we've ended up lumped with them. That would be the Shaitan. Shaitan may be merely enemy in essence, but I only refer to the nastier of my kin in that matter, just to clear any questions about that. Another thing I feel I need to mention about demons, while we as Djinn can survive and still operate our powers within this dimension without the need of a body in which to do so, I have yet to come across a demon who has that same independence. I'm as old as, ancient Egypt's Middle Kingdom would be according to human archaeologists. The question about aliens to me is a bit amusing, and I mean no offense by that remark. Here's why. The Fae, the Djinn, angels, and demons are all part of different planes of existence, and so will be considered alien to anyone in this realm. There are, however, creatures on other planets, if that's what you're asking. Whether or not they visit or inhabit this planet should not